Law number 18. Isolation is dangerous. The world is dangerous, and enemies are everywhere. Everyone has to protect themselves. A fortress seems the safest, but isolation exposes you to more dangers than it protects you from. It cuts you off from valuable information. It makes you conspicuous and an easy target. Better to circulate among people, find allies, and mingle. You are shielded from your enemies by the crowd. Here's 5 dangers that isolation brings. You lose contact with the sources of your power. You lose your ear for what is happening around you. You lose your sense of proportion. You cut yourself off from the kind of knowledge on which your life depends. You cannot hear what is happening around you, including the plots against you. It becomes harder to break out of your isolation when you choose to. It sinks you deep into its quicksand without your noticing. Compare and contrast the lives of Qin Shi Huangdi, the first emperor of China, and Louis XIV after outlawing the writings and teachings of the great philosopher Confucius. Anyone who quoted Confucius was to be beheaded. This made many enemies for the emperor, and he grew constantly afraid, even paranoid. The executions mounted. A contemporary, the writer Han Feizu, noted, "Qin has been victorious for 4 generations, yet has lived in constant terror and apprehension of destruction." He grew constantly afraid and even paranoid. Louis XIV, on the other hand, very early grasped the truth that for a king to isolate himself is gravely dangerous, putting himself on the center stage, always. The emperor, on the other hand, withdrew deeper and deeper into his palace to protect themselves, and he slowly lost control of the realm. He slept in a different room every night, and anyone who inadvertently laid eyes on him was instantly beheaded. Due to his absence, his ministers enacted political policies without his approval or even his knowledge, and also plotted against him. Louis XIV knew that if he was absent, conspiracies would spring up like mushrooms after rain. Animosities will crystallize into factions, and rebellion will break out before he has the time to react. Qin Shi Huangdi traveled incognito, disguising himself carefully. On one such trip through the provinces, he suddenly died. He died alone, far from his wife, his family, his friends, and his courtiers, accompanied only by a minister and a handful of eunuchs. Some speculate he was poisoned by the same scheming ministers who encouraged his isolation. Louis XIV, on the other hand, built the Palace of Versailles, where he took center stage. Some 50 years of relative peace and tranquility followed. Through it all, not a pin dropped without Louis XIV hearing it. Place yourself at the center of activity. Do not feel threatened. Do not retreat and close ranks. To find security in a kind of fortress, fight the desire to turn inward. Do not merely rely on information from a small circle. Do not lose maneuverability and become an easy target. As in warfare and most games of strategy, isolation often precedes defeat and death. Make yourself more accessible. Seek out old allies and make new ones. Force yourself into more and more different circles. If you need time to think, then choose isolation only as the last resort. Keep your way back into society open. Mingling with the crowd, that kind of mobility and social contact will protect you from plotters who will be unable to keep secrets from you. Never sitting or settling in one place. No hunter can fix his aim on such a swift-moving creature.